Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been ages since I did my last video, and that video that I did, I filmed a long ass time ago. Like way in the start of June, and it's now obviously September. I wanted to do a little bit of a life update video because a few people asked me to do it because they're like, you've gone a little bit off radar, don't really know what you've been doing. I've been still pretty active on Instagram, so if you don't follow me there, make sure you follow me at Sophie Milner _FS. I will leave the link for you below. I'm always doing stuff on stories over there, so it is a little bit easier to catch me doing real life shit and everything like that. But back to the life update. I have the reason why I haven't posted in so long, it's nothing like sad, it's nothing like really crazy or anything like that. It's literally simply because I have been living my best life. Like summer, when it comes to YouTube, obviously, like it was a complete write-off, and that's because I wasn't really here for a lot of it. I was away, and I was just getting drunk, I was partying, things like that, and just doing what everyone should be doing, and they're just enjoying the great British summer. So, wow, actually to say that, I was away for all of August. I mean, last summer was, I will admit, really shit for me. I always get really worried about talking about these things online because I don't know what people are going to think of me, but I always feel more overwhelmed when people send me really positive responses. So last summer, I'll admit I was actually really quite depressed. I really didn't want to leave the house very much. I spent most of my time inside. I think part of it also was because I was expecting to have this amazing summer, and I thought I'd be going out all the time and seeing my friends, and it seemed like all my friends were always like busy with their work friends or their boyfriends and things like that, and I was just there like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna hang out by myself. It literally makes me sound like such a loser and like I have no friends. But I also know that for me was because I wasn't vocalizing like what I needed from my friends. Like to them, they didn't think it was a big deal, but for me, I was there like, oh, I'm so lonely. So actually I really had to develop a habit of being like, I feel lonely, can I please see you guys soon? I haven't seen you in ages, I'm really bored. Whereas last summer I didn't do that. I just sort of like sat around and just got like sad all the time about it. And like as a result of being in that dark place, I would say no to everything because my anxiety was also really bad. Like depression and anxiety, they are things that I feel like I've definitely gone through, and for the past 6 or 7 months, 6, 7, 8 months, I have felt like I haven't felt like that anymore, which is great. So last summer I was just constantly saying no to everything. Fast forward a year, everything is so much better. I feel like myself again. I feel the best I've felt in years, which is amazing. And I've just like, it's been the complete opposite because I have felt in a really good place mentally. I've been saying yes to everything. I have just like been throwing caution to the wind and just live my life. This year I really learnt to manage my work-life balance a little bit better, and I think I went into the beginning of this year with the focus of I don't want to make any crazy professional goals, but I want to make really personal goals. And my own personal goal, the only really one I had, was I just want to be happier and to do whatever that requires to just live a happier life. And if that means cutting back a little bit of work, then yes. I kind of haven't really been here because I've been doing a lot of traveling. I went to Budapest, Barcelona, Greece, and Amsterdam. Oh, and Ibiza as well, all in August. So I think, did I go to, no, Ibiza was July. But either way, I've been all over the place. Most of them have been personal trips. One was, Ibiza was a work trip, that was with Nasty Gal. The rest were just personal trips for fun. And yeah, and I think actually I should probably reverse and go back to something as well. So I actually have a boyfriend now. I really don't want to say like, oh, I think the reason why I'm so much happier now is because I'm with him, because I don't really think that's the case. I actually felt a lot better and a lot more like myself just as I met him. But yeah, so I met Jimmy when I was in LA. Actually, I don't know who remembers my LA vlog, but there was a section where I was like, I think I'd had 2 hours sleep. I was eating Pringles in the hotel room, and I was like, oh, I kissed a 24-year-old last night. I kissed a 24-year-old. It's fine, I'm not like against kissing younger boys, especially on holiday. Gotta give him a go. Yeah, he did like have his arm in a sling. We stopped off down Venice and bumped into the love of my life.
He's definitely gonna watch this.
Yeah, that's him. So he lives in Australia. Well done me for picking a man who lives on the other side of the world, quite literally. Yeah, and we met in LA and we just kind of kept talking after the trip really, and then we met up in Bali a couple months later, and then I went to Melbourne to go see him because I was like, I don't want to get emotionally invested in this guy who, if I don't really know what he's really like in his own environment. So I went to Melbourne. I got so ill when I was there with him. I got gastroenteritis, I don't know how you say it. I had severe diarrhea for the whole entire time I was there. So yeah, that was quite embarrassing, but I can tell you this, nothing bonds you quite like having severe diarrhea. Yeah, and I ended up in hospital one day on a drip, so that was funny. But I didn't really post anything about being in Melbourne because I didn't really want people asking questions. I don't really know how things are gonna work out or anything like that. So yeah, Melbourne happened, and then I went to meet up with him again in Budapest. So Budapest was for Zagat Festival, which is amazing. It's a 7-day festival, music festival. Oh my god, the 1975 played, Post Malone, Martin Garrix, Ed Sheeran, Foo Fighters, Florence and the Machine. Like, the headliners are incredible. So I went to Budapest. I'm kind of like tying two things in at once realistically, but Budapest was so fun. Like, I didn't really check Instagram the whole week I was there. I didn't really see much of the city, which I don't feel guilty about because I've been before and I love it. It's an amazing city. So yeah, so Jimmy and his friends, they were at Zagat, so I had so much fun. So saw him there. Then originally what was meant to happen was I was going to Barcelona for 3 days with my friends straight from Budapest. He was going to Greece to do Sail Greece for a week, and then after that he was coming to stay with me for a week in London. All like really exciting and everything. And then when I flew off to Barcelona, yeah, Jimmy called me and was like, someone's dropped out the Greece trip, did you want to come? And that would mean I'd be flying the next day. I was flying that night back to London from Barcelona. And then if I wanted to go on the Greece trip, I would have to fly the following day from London. So I was like, what do I do? And in my head, I was just like, you spent the whole of our summer saying no to everything. So I went back home and then I flew to Greece the next day. So we spent a week doing Sail Greece. The first few days were literally like, we went around in the boat and we did some like swim stops and just jumped off into the water in about 3 different places. I was a bit like, when are we gonna explore Greece? So it got a little bit like cabin fevery on the boat. There wasn't that much shade. It was so hot if you went below deck, and I just really wanted to get off the boat. And then as soon as we docked up on land a couple of days later properly and got to explore the towns, like it was absolutely fine. And it was a really, really fun trip. We did the Ionian Islands. I think we did that route, so that was really good. It was really fun. Like, I'm really glad that I went. But then I flew back to London. Jimmy flew in a separate flight that night, and then I flew back a few hours later, and then we just hung out for a week. So the way it's a very weird thing. Like, honestly, long distance relationships, yeah, you know, Australia, half the way around the world. Honestly, I'm gonna be really honest, I would not recommend them unless your jobs really allow for it. I'm very flexible. I can work as and when I want. He works every 3 weeks. He works 3 weeks on and then 3 weeks off. So we kind of get to see each other at the moment every 3 weeks until hopefully he moves to the UK. So now I've gone over the whole boyfriend thing, relationship status update, I will go back to traveling. So obviously Budapest, Zagat Festival. I didn't actually do the whole 7 days, by the way. I'm not that hardcore. I can't do that. So me and my friend Julie, we went and flew to Barcelona straight from Budapest. Very hungover, in a really bad state. And yeah, so we touched down, and then our friend Fran joined us the next day. And we just had so much fun, but I will admit, I was having like such a post-festival, like come down, the blues, like all of that. Like, I think I was working off like a 4-day hangover or something. I definitely didn't make the most of it. Like, my tummy wasn't feeling great. I looked at sangria and I was like no instead of yes. So I struggled, and I went home early pretty much every night because I was like, oh, my tummy's dodgy, I like this, that, the other. It was not great. So I was really struggling, and I really regret that I didn't make the most of it, but I would really recommend it. And then obviously Greece, which I've kind of spoke about already. I'm really sorry this video has like not a super amount of like, it's not very linear, it's very like, which kind of feels like how my mind has been recently, but in a good way. Then when Jimmy was in London, this was my opportunity to be like, I want to show you the best of London without being like too touristy. You always forget how close Europe is when you live in the UK. I don't know, it's just you kind of forget how much there is to see over there, and you take it for granted. So yeah, so I was like, I'm going to book us a trip to Amsterdam on the Eurostar. So I did, and we were just going for one night. We stayed at the Pulitzer Hotel. It was amazing, by the way. I've been to Amsterdam 2 times before, but both times I was there for work, so it's a very different thing when you go for pleasure. So I felt a little bit embarrassed. It's quite embarrassing admitting it, but I wanted an authentic Amsterdam experience. Well, authentic touristy Amsterdam experience. So yeah, and Jesus Christ, it was full of stag do's. I would not want my boyfriend to go on a stag do there, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, but it was really interesting. I do really appreciate the very open and frank approach that they have to sex and sex work over there, actually. So yeah, I thought it was really cool and really interesting. Yeah. And yeah, so another thing I have done is my tattoos. Okay, so I have not had tattoos before. I've always wanted ones, and I've always thought years later, oh god, I didn't get that. I would so regret that. I went and got 3 in the space of a month. So I got this little tattoo here, which I think I just need to go over again because it's kind of wearing out. I think my boxing wraps, they just kind of like rub it off a little bit. So this just says, sorry about them. God, what did I have for lunch? Ew. So it says LDN, just for London, just because, you know, people are like, oh, you should only have something tattooed on you if it really means something. And I was like, fuck. The only thing that really means anything to me is London, because I love living here. And yeah, so that's why I got that tattooed. Then I went and got this little heart. Can we see? Yeah, it's like a little heart and a flower there. So these are done by Connor Thomas. He's an amazing fine line tattooist. He's based in Soho. I'll link him below. And then this one, I got this really stupid little lightning bolt tattoo on my finger. I was drunk in Ibiza. That was on the Nasty Girl press trip. That was in July, yeah. So I got that done when I was drunk in Ibiza. So, yeah, if you didn't go to Ibiza and get a tattoo when you were drunk, did you really go to Ibiza? I don't know. I have also gone more blonde, which is great. My extensions are falling out so much right now. They're really grown out. But yeah, I've gone a bit blonder, taken it a bit higher, gone a bit longer, and yeah, that's it really. It's just, you know, most people go a bit darker for winter. I'm like, nah. And then in terms of like fitness, okay, so I found like I've really got back into fitness this summer. Well, really probably the past few months before summer as well. And I've trained consistently, like going to the gym at least 3-4 times a week for the past few years, but sometimes like you're not really pushing yourself, or you're going to the gym and then you're not really eating that healthily, so you've not really got the balance quite right. Well, if anything, actually you've got the balance too right, because going to the gym and then you're eating pizza, I mean, that sounds like good balance to me. But if you actually want results, it's not really the best. So I've really pushed it this summer. I've kind of, whereas before I felt like a bit reluctant to go. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go exercise, don't really want to do this. I actually love training, and I kind of like remember reading somebody on Instagram, she put something like, I think it was Shona Virtue. I was like, Shona Virtue, she put up something about how she, like, you know, as humans, back in like the days when we used to hunt, we were like moving constantly, we were exercising constantly, whereas these days we have like largely desk-based jobs. We're sitting down a lot, we're not doing much, and our bodies are built for movement and they need it in order to stay healthy. But instead we're just sitting down on our asses all the time and not doing anything. So we kind of, the reason why we go to the gym essentially is to offset the lack of movement that we have in our everyday lifestyle, to balance things out. So, you know, your movement is what your body needs and it's what it wants. and like your body craves it, and to give your body that movement it's honoring your body, to make yourself like, you know, to get stronger and fitter. It's a way of honoring your body. So I had this like thing like switch on inside of me that like when I was feeling tired in the gym or thinking, oh, can't be arsed, I just think, no, you're getting stronger, you're getting fitter. And I would physically like think about my muscles and my body as I was like pushing a weight or something in a PT session, and I'd think about my muscles and I'd think about like them getting stronger and more powerful, and me getting fitter, and like this whole notion of like honoring my body. I know it sounds like so bullshit to some people, like I can't quite believe these words are coming out of my mouth right now, like sorry, but yeah. So I guess it's that. And also I do co-box a lot in London. I would recommend boxing to anybody, especially women. I don't really think there's gonna be many guys watching this anyway, so we don't need to worry about that. So I would recommend boxing to so many women, because it's fucking liberating, punching things, like oh my god. But it's not about just like punching things, and it's the way that you learn to move your body. Now I am not naturally sporty. I was never picked for sports teams. I'd always pick like last in PE when it came to playing like group sports. Like I'm terrible. I'm not naturally gifted one bit. So for me, like doing anything kind of sporty really does not come naturally to me. But I find that with boxing, it took a long while to get into it, and still I'm not a natural. Learning new things with it can take a little bit of time to pick up. But you learn to really move your body, so it's the way that you're doing it. You're not just throwing punches. I know I'm like literally like going like, you're not throwing punches, like it's the way that you have to move your hips within. You need to like, what you're doing with your abs, and the way that you're holding your body in order to like make sure that you're not gonna get hurt. And it's just, there is so much to think about that a lot of the time you can't think about anything else. And I find it really quite therapeutic, because you're hitting things, it gets aggression out anyway, but also your mind's taken off things, and you always leave feeling better. So I am an ambassador of co-box, and I honestly, I love it so much. It is like a second home to me now, and feeling yourself get better at something is just a really good feeling, especially if you're a dorky like loser like me who's never very good at sports. It's like something really satisfying about being like, yeah, like I'm getting better at this thing that I should be really shit at, and I kind of am still probably not very good, but it just feels good. But yeah, that's pretty much it for a life.